Hey Alex, so what do you know about the Ledger Nano scam?
Okay, this is a good one. You guys are ready? Sit back and get excited for this one. The Nano Ledger S. Well, the Nano Ledger S, which is one of the devices which myself, Spencer, you've got one, right?
Yep.
I've got one. I've got two actually, and I make all my clients use them as well. That exact device. Let's talk about the hack and what that means to you guys, and should you be worried?
So what exactly happened?
Yeah. So it's not a hack the way that most people think of hacks. So the story goes, a young man being an adult, young man in the crypto world, we should say, had made a post on Reddit suggesting that his life savings, close to $25,000, poof, disappeared from his Nano Ledger. And the speculation went rampant. And of course, the Redditors went wild on this topic. And they investigated pretty deeply into it. And they finally were able to figure out how he was hacked, his Nano Ledger, how someone was able to access his Nano Ledger and remove all of his funds. He had Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin, some Dash, I think one or two other coins. But they all just disappeared one night. How did they actually figure it out? Well, Spencer, they went through and they kept asking him more and more questions. And because he was so, because this person was so, most people when they're scammed, they get very offended or they get very recluse or they withdraw and they don't seek assistance or help in the matter. The most important thing you can do is report it out there. If someone steals your coins, share the wallet. Let it be known to the community so these people are able to figure out what's actually going on. For example, just recently, was it the Nice Hash hack? Was actually the coins ended up going to a wallet that was related to the Mt. Gox hack, which is super interesting stuff. So back to the day at hand. So the individual who had his Nano Ledger hacked shared some photos from the box he got. He purchased it from a high reputation, a 98% feedback seller on eBay, and when he had opened it, inside the box that you would normally encounter, a blank 24-word list. And then the first time you plug in your Nano Ledger device, it asks you to program, it programs a 24-word, what would you call that, Spencer? A word key?
Seed list.
A word seed. Yeah, so it creates a 24-word seed. A 24-word seed for the Nano Ledger. And this will allow you to recover it if you ever lose the device, or if you ever lose physical access to it, or if it's ever damaged, things of this nature. So when he got his device, it was in fact pre-activated. So it had already had the 24-word seed created on the device, meaning that someone had already activated this device and had already seen those 24 words. Now this is a scam that people have seen before. They get the device and there's already a seed on it. Now that wouldn't normally be spectacular, but in this particular case they actually made a scratch off card, like scratch and win lottery tickets, a scratch ticket, and they made a piece of paper that looked exactly like the authentic Ledger Nano paperwork that comes in the folder, and that had the 24-word seed on it already. So he scratched off the words and he was able to see his word seed that way. Now that in fact was the scam. The Nano Ledger's software, their API, their back-end systems, they weren't hacked in a sense. This is what's called a man-in-the-middle hack or a phishing scam. He was scammed. So we want to make sure people don't misinterpret that. Because he used the Nano Ledger, which someone had already activated, any hardware wallet, or any wallet in general. You know, a lot of these scammers will give you a wallet to put funds in, and then they recover that wallet later and steal the funds from that. So as long as you make sure that you always generate a new seed, and as long as you make sure that the hardware itself has not been manipulated in any way, which all the websites, Nano, Trezor, they'll show you how to actually physically inspect the device to make sure there's nothing additional added to it. As long as you make sure it's always a new word seed the first time you use a hardware wallet, and as long as you make sure it hasn't been physically hacked in any manner or any physical devices have been added to it, then you can buy used hardware off the market. Would you ever buy a used wallet, Spencer?
Me personally, no.
Okay. Okay. And I personally wouldn't either right now, with the ability to continue to buy new wallets. But going forward, as this becomes a new thing, it's going to become like buying someone's used cell phone. And that once you hit the reset button, and it's not something you really need to worry about too much. Malware doesn't persist through the current cell phone upgrades. So most of the physical software, I feel, would have similar results. So as long as nothing physical has been done to the device, you don't have to worry. As long as no one's had access to your 24-word seed, there's nothing for you guys to worry about. No, Nano Ledger hasn't been hacked. No, your funds in your cold storage wallet aren't going to disappear. The only person that might do that is your mistress shoulder surfing those codes you type in every time you're buying her pretty skirts on Licenza with your Bitcoins. So, in the meantime, guys, keep those codes close, cover your pins whenever you're working with your Nano Ledger, and make sure that you don't get hacked like this guy.